Thank you very much. Let's have a seat. Dr. Stephen, I think you should also give yourself a You've done so well. So I think, okay, let me have my seat here. Please have your seat. Yes, I'm okay here. When Imam My God was talking about ST, or ST, I'm sure a lot of us are aware of ST in those days. And I'm very sure also that many of us don't know why ST went down the drain. And that was because the owner of ST was not listening. He wasn't listening to his employee. That was it. Gtext, just as Farouk said, is a beacon of innovation. And Dr. Stephen here, I would say you are a layer, a man of different layers. You've done so well in the industry. And yes, you have listened. For Gtext to be standing 15 years today, it means you have listened and you've empowered your staff. So would love to know, how has the journey been so far?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The journey has been tough, as you all know. I remember that we started the company in my one-room apartment on campus. And we had started an NGO called Infinity Foundation. And we were struggling to raise funds for orphans and the less privileged. So when we were to then, at some point also we needed to do registration. We couldn't even afford to register as an incorporated NGO because it was more expensive. So we had to start with a business name. And we needed to have a business that was generating income to help us fund some of the charity works that we were doing. And that was really the foundation. So some of our early business was we sold popcorn, we hawked electronics, we had a trade fair event, you know. One of your colleague journalists that brought all of you doesn't want me to tell this story. But,
please tell us.
But the story was one of those trade fair I had done on campus. I got permit to organize the trade fair, brought vendors. And the second day, the VC instructed that we should all get out of the place. And, you know, the narrative was that we didn't get permits. And we had the letter. I remember even having to go to meet the VC. I, you know, prostrated, had to beg him. I needed the money. I would use it to pay my school fees. You know, I mean, he just walked me out of his presence. And so now I had to go and confront more than 20 vendors who had paid and were used their money to pay for canopy, to chair. So it's not as if we have the funds to refund. So you have to defend the fact that the school claimed that it didn't have permits. You have to defend how do they get back their money. So I went back begging, some even locked my shirt. You know, they used to call me pastor then because I pastored on campus. Pastor, who are that? Who are that? So I had to appeal, and then, you know, she was like a PA or some sort to me then. She was watching the whole drama, begged them, promised that when I do the next trade fair, I will allow them come, and they don't need to pay and all of those stuff. So on our way back home, she looked at me and said, let's face reality, you're not wired for business. You know. And she said it out of a good heart. She said, business is for sharks. You obviously are not a shark. You know, and it's either you eat someone or they eat you. And she didn't know how powerful that word was. It really hurt me badly. Because I went back and I thought, but I believe I'm on the right track. I believe I'm doing the right thing. And I believe business shouldn't be about eating anyone. The air is so wide, we can all fly, right? Only vultures have to compete for space. Eagles don't even struggle, right? And I'm happy that I've proven that fact 15 years later, that you can be good and you can do business and you can thrive. And I don't need to be an evil person, like she was saying, to succeed in business. But we've been through a lot.
I'm actually glad that person said that thing to you.
Yeah.
Because that must have been what triggered you to go global, to go local.
I'm not sure.
Now.
That was
You've gone
that was depressing.
Anyways, you must have had challenges, and with that word, I mean, somebody locking your shirt. You didn't think of quitting, or did you at any point think of quitting?
Well, I do that probably every week up till now, right? I mean, I'd say this. One of the things I try to do is to be as honest as possible, particularly because I know that over time I have over 1 million followers now, and I've become some form of, my older brother says, whether you like it or not, you are like the Nigerian dream for a lot of Africans. You know, and I didn't even realize how powerful that was until when I went to Kenya, and how much a lot of the Kenyans know me, and some have read my books, and we're saying the same thing, that you know, we're happy to relate with somebody who made it not from politics, not from government contracts, but from ground up, and we're cited. But it's important to know that quitting, thought of quitting is a regular occurrence. You know, I mean, we have, Rugged Man is probably 30 years in music now. Quitting music, I'm sure, is probably a regular occurrence in his heart. So the fact that you feel like quitting does not mean you're abnormal, right? But 15 years of your life, you're just struggling. A lot of people didn't know that for the first 15 years of Dangote, and they teach this in Lagos Business School, the Dangote group wasn't really doing well, right? They were really struggling, right? But at, I think, the 16th year, it just was an exponential growth. So keep pushing, don't give up in that sitting phase where things look a bit bad. My last point is, do not give up on Nigeria, right? Do not give up. I have businesses in different countries of the world. I've not been in Nigeria for the last 6 months. I so miss Nigeria. I miss everything. I miss the dysfunctionality of Nigeria. I miss I miss the fact that I can even say, do you know who I am? Because there are countries you can't even do that, right? You can't even, and you can ask your colleagues who are in diaspora, there are countries you can't even do that, right? Somebody slap a policeman, who dash your monkey banana, right? You can only do that in Nigeria, your own country. Because even in America, if you do that, the policeman will just shoot you by mistake. Right? By mistake. And then, but you'll be dead by the time they are protesting. So the reality is that I know there are challenges in this country, but it's still your country. Right? You have a lot of rights. You can shout. Right? We are now doing, by the way, Shokuti is a fantastic guy. I mean, I hosted him on my TV show. Great guy. If you meet him, forget what you see on social media. Really great guy. And I think he deserves, you know, fair hearing and not all this dragging. But it's important to know that this is your country. If anything happens, even when you are guilty, they can still say free Shokuti, free Steve Akitayo, because it's your country. There are some countries you misbehave, you disappear, right? You will just disappear. Nobody will hear of you again. So this is your home. Tell your neighbor, this is my home. Come on, tell your neighbor, now tap them. This is my home. No shaking. Nobody's chasing me out here. This is my country, and we will make it here. You know, there's that statement that say, all die now. And honestly, I will tell you this, if there's one word you should take home, take that word home. It was when I decided that all die, now die. This country, we go make it. That was when we started shifting. And if you make up your mind that way as well, the doors will open. The big men that used to close their door, now they are the one reaching me. Right? I remember one day, a top billionaire in this country sent me a DM. And when he sent the DM, I had to scroll up. I've sent him several messages. Several. And you know, the first one was, apologies. I'm just seeing the messages, and he now needed a favor. You know, and then be humble. Immediately, sir, consider it done. right? Be humble. Some of you say, when I was small and I needed your help, did you help me? Now you are coming to. Don't be petty, right? Be humble, be grateful, and be forgiving. God bless you all.
Let's give him a round of applause. The take home, we must keep pushing as Nigerians, and we shouldn't give up on Nigeria. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Akitayo. Thank you so much for having us and listening to us. My name is Yemisi Landredo. Thank you.
One more time. That's, you know where I be. Jackpot, because by the time we travel, and I'm sure Rugged Man in the building, by the way, let's put our hands together for Rugged Man. Person like this, so I know say you know feel jackpot. I know this is your same story too. By the time we don't come up for Nigeria, don't they reach like 10 days? Your body go do something. Because see, I used to tell my wife, but now that I heard somebody else say it, I can say it publicly.